and collective. Welcome back to Love, Light, and Life Affirmed, your daily affirmations for self love and growth. Hey, you guys, welcome back. Welcome to Shadow Work Part 2. So, collective, my current subscribers, you guys know this is our threads, right? Where we talk about soul lessons, we talk about patterns and karmic connections and how to work on healing from those. Again, as a bonus, like I mentioned in Shadow Work Series Part 1 this week, because of your generous donations and support of the channel, I was able to get some new decks pertaining to Shadow so we can continue our knowledge, wisdom, continue learning, continue healing together. So at the end of this one, I will do a bonus Shadow Oracle message using this deck, Shadow Work. And I will give you a past, present, and future outcome bonus spread. So stick around. So let's begin collective with our threads and let's see what we need to talk about today for the collective. What is the overall energy in the collective? What soul lessons, what healing do we need to focus on this coming week and work on? Okay. First one, unlock the flow. When your energy is stuck, nothing moves. So start small, clean a space, cry it out, speak a truth. Movement is medicine. So, if you've been feeling stagnant, if you feel, kind of stuck in regards to a situation, get your body moving. Again, that could even just be moving the energy and crying it out, right? Release something, move the energy, right? Because everything around us, including ourselves, is energy. So sometimes if you are feeling a little bit anxious or feeling, sad or down, sometimes just picking something to clean, what's the word I'm looking for? It is kind of like transferring, right? That energy from being stuck within you, collective, and putting it somewhere else. Finding a purpose, a different purpose for the energy. So it moves that energy of what you're feeling out. Okay. Then cultivate courage. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the ability to move forward despite it. Everybody fears something, but fear itself, really, if we think about it, collective, is an illusion. Fear is meant to stop you from taking a step forward. And most of the time, especially if what you're trying to move towards is something with good intention, something that is positive, fear, what it's doing in its illusion, is keeping you from being successful. It is keeping you from obtaining your desires. It is keeping you from getting into that relationship, applying for that job, right? It is the illusion. So cultivating courage is basically being able to continue to press forward despite any fear or the fear of, the illusion of fear that you feel. Okay. Yes, create your karma. Your actions today shape your tomorrow. So make choices that align with your highest good. So this one I think is very important. I feel like some people forget about universal law. They forget about consequences. They forget about how the energy that you put out is going to be the energy you receive in return. I feel like if people really kept that in mind, they would really think twice or maybe even three times before they made some of their decisions. But some people don't have a conscious confirmation from spirit. Thank you, spirit, for the confirmation. It's sad, but it's true. Some people just don't have a conscious. Some people are non-playing characters. All right. So learn from pain. Pain is a catalyst for change. So allow it to lead you to deeper wisdom and growth. So pain is temporary, you guys. Everybody is going to experience pain in some way if you are living a human experience, right? That could be self-inflicted pain. This could be pain based off of actions of another. This could be just by simply physically hurting yourself. Pain is going to occur on some level. But again, it is meant to be temporary. It is not meant to be held on to long term. This is the mistake that I think all of us have made. We feel like holding on to the pain somehow validates what we've gone through. And then what happens is people who continue to hold on to the pain, and now they feel as if they could use it as a crutch or an excuse to be now a victim. And again, when I say that, it is not to disregard what you've experienced, but being in a victim mentality does not allow you to be empowered. Does not allow you to use what you've learned from that painful situation to become better. Now it is just about you wanting to feel entitled to act out in certain ways because of what you've gone through. That is not something people have to allow. Kindness creates change. I like this one. Yes, love, the action of love just generates more love. I always think of when they say pay it forward, or when people, do something for a stranger. I think that is the most beautiful thing, especially when you're not expecting anything in return. Being in a line at Starbucks and the person in front of you decides that morning to pay for your coffee. Maybe when you woke up that day, it wasn't the greatest morning, but that small kind of act of kindness can completely change your mood. It completely is a reminder that there is still good in the world, even if you don't always believe in it. Yes, media itself, most of the time is going to tell us all of the bad things happening. This is how they get ratings. This is how our minds are programmed to wake up and want to watch news because it's full of drama. We want to know what the drama is, what's the drama, but that is a low vibration to stay in consistently. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't be aware of what's happening, but most of the time people get addicted to the drama. They want to know now what's going to happen next. Is there going to be more drama? How far is it going to escalate? So, focusing on good things is how we change that mentality. Then we have set healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries protect your energy, stand firm in what you need to thrive. And this is healthy boundaries with anybody in your life. It doesn't matter who it is. Like I think I've told you guys before in a previous message how difficult it was for me to set boundaries when it came to my own family. It was a very difficult thing, because I felt like it meant I was being disrespectful by setting a healthy boundary. And because I have so much respect for my mother figure specifically, it was very difficult to create healthy boundaries. At first, when I attempted, she felt again disrespected. She felt like I was overstepping my authority or stepping on her authority, but I had to stand my ground because I knew the respect that I wanted and deserved. And I had to change that pattern by making it clear what my expectations now were. And our relationship has improved because of this. So it is difficult sometimes in the beginning, again, depending on who it is that you are dealing with. But it is worth it if you can create that healthy boundary. Okay. Recognize relational wounds. Not every scar came from cruelty. Some came from absence, silence, or unmet needs. So name what hurt. This is very important. I feel like it's important to understand the origin of your pain, understand where, as your inner child, you were hurt, and so that you can actually know the source of why you feel the way that you feel, why you act in the ways that you act, and who was the person that projected this onto you. Okay. So recognizing it. Accept your destiny. Embrace the unfolding of your journey. Trust that each moment is leading you to your true path. Going on a healing journey, trying to understand your shadow, it's going to inevitably put you on a path of healing. Yeah, my right hand is itching. And for some of you guys, this path can also lead to a level of abundance, because once you have healed, you are now back in your creative energy. You are now not people pleasing, but you are trying to figure out how to please yourself, how to show yourself love. That means investing more in yourself. Again, in turn, leading you to a place of feeling abundant in all aspects of your life. Okay. Understand soulmate lessons. Soulmates come to teach us. Embrace the lessons they bring, even if they're hard to swallow. Who hasn't been in love? I feel like every person that's listening to me right now has been in love, has felt like they met their person or their soulmate, or had a very strong bond or a connection with an individual. And I think the heartbreaking part was realizing that that person was not meant to stay a part of your life. You were supposed to learn something from them, especially when you are not healed, right? Some people have fear of abandonment. Some people don't feel validated on their own. Some people are actually afraid of being single and being alone. I've known so many people in life, and I've seen them jump from relationship to relationship to relationship, or hold on to a bad relationship because the thought of being by themselves was just too much. People are meant to help teach us. So it's important to know the difference. And like they say, some people are in our lives for a season, a reason, but very few are in our life for a lifetime. Okay. One more, please, for the collective. Yep, and heal that attachment wound. hmm This is about people pleasing tendencies. Okay. So your worth is not tied to being needed. Okay. Let go of proving your value and just be yourself. You don't get, it's almost like when I think about this one, um, I remember when I was younger, my teacher had this board, had all of our names in the class, and it had Monday through Friday at the top. And every single day, depending on how well we did that day, or how well we did on a test, or if we, did something kind, we would get different color stars: green, gold, or red, something like that. But this is what this reminds me of. It's almost like you have people in your life who decide to give you a star on your chart for the day as long as you please them. And because this is something that you were groomed to do, or a way of acting, a behavior, it became a normal part of your everyday life, to where this was normal for you. And so you needed that constant validation from other people to feel valuable. That is the control, right? Because it is a learned behavior. You are valuable just being you. I say this to my divine masculines a lot because of the amount of pressure put on their shoulders to be a provider. Okay. Divine feminines, we have the same amount of pressure put on our shoulders to be good parents, to be good mothers. Um, so we all have our own societal pressures that make us feel like we need to go out of our way for validation. And it's not true. It's just not true, collective. You are valuable just as you are. And you are going to be a provider, a good parent, a good person, because that's what you're going to choose to do. You don't need to be manipulated into that. So, what's some of our repair, evolution, and growth oracles we need to go over? Look at that confirmation. Thank you, Spirit. Childhood wounds. Like I said, that inner child needs a hug, needs healing, retrieve what was broken, so that you can heal it. Your inner child is looking to heal so you can move on by understanding the situation in a new light. Going within to heal requires self love and compassion. Gaining perspective through energy work or therapy can be very helpful in assessing the tools to empower your inner child. Like I said, it's a big thing. It is where it all began. So it is significant. Yes, things may happen to us as we get older, but when you are young and you are innocent and you have no knowledge of what's right and wrong, and you depend on people to love and care for you and protect you, and you don't have that, that wound is going to last until you stop breathing and you leave this earthly plane if it is not healed. Sacrifice and reclaim. Your strength is needed to pull back your power and gain perspective of the situation. You have gone through an emotional sacrifice far too long, collective. It's time to claim, balance, and nurture yourself by standing in your power. Didn't I say you need to empower yourself? You need to figure out where this began and address it, confront it. And you can't be in denial when you do it. That is you deceiving yourself. This is what people have been doing for most of you guys your whole life. The deception. There is a situation that you are refusing to see clearly. And it's hard to see it clearly because it could break your heart, right? I get it. Living in denial can create false scenarios to see things that are not accurate. Have the courage, right? Cultivate courage. That means leaping and having faith even with the fear still there. Have the courage and discernment to dig deep into the truth of the situation. Sometimes a lot of people actually don't even have the memory of what happened to them because it is a defense mechanism. The mind chooses to forget it, but it shows in our behaviors. So it's still affecting you. Yeah, this is what we want to work towards: fun and adventure, joy. It's time to play and get reacquainted with your childlike self. Somebody's inner child is screaming for healing right now, collective. It was a big message in Shadow Work Part 1. Check it out if you missed it. And it is coming out again twice now in this one. But it is a big deal because it is where trauma starts for most of us. Open up to your sense of adventure and fantasy. You've been way too serious and moving through the motions. Snap out of it and have some fun. And again, it goes back to this message of unblock, right? Unblock the flow. Do something fun for yourself that you would have enjoyed as a kid. If you don't have kids, do it by yourself. If you have kids, then do it with your children. Sometimes just going back to what put a smile on our face as a kid, and which allowed us to use our imagination, which allowed us to be creative, right? Sometimes it opens up the door to unblock what was hurt, to heal from what was hurt, and not fear it anymore, not be in denial about it, not continuously sacrifice your own emotions for other people. That is from a childhood wound or for a wound when you were younger. Okay. What's the cosmic energy? What does the universe want you to focus on this week? Awakening. Yeah, a lot of people I feel are going through this right now. A lot of people are awakening right now. This is a huge upgrade in the collective vibration, and I love it. And you guys are supported. The universe is supporting everyone going through this process right now. And all you have to do is ask if you need help, if you need confirmations, if guidance, just ask. Cleansing, cleanse your energy, constantly cleanse your energy. That means protecting your energy. It means staying away from people, places, and situations and negative energy. Yes, so you can stay in balance, keep your harmony. Connections. Stay connected with others, nature, and the universe. Yeah, stay present, stay connected with yourself, with others in your life who actually support you, collective. Okay? Stay connected during your awakening. Then I talk about creativity. It's important because your creativity is an energy. It comes from your inner child being happy. It opens you up to so many things, collective. Happiness is one of them. Yeah, confirmation. Thank you, Spirit. Yes, your creativity opens you up to happiness. Communication is needed. Yes, effective communication is the bridge to understanding and connection. Okay. And self-love. Telling you guys, it's the key to all of this. Loving yourself first, trusting yourself first. Okay. Stop putting others before you to the point of detriment. It is okay to be a giver. I'm a giver, I'm an empath, and love is something I believe in wholeheartedly, almost to a fault. But it's because I trust that love is always present, even in the face of the enemy, even in the face of people who don't like me or who don't care for me or who want to see me fail. See, love is always available to me, even if it's not from those energies. I don't need it from those energies in order to feel validated. See, the universe and the blessings are validation enough. The Most High God waking me up every day and giving me breath is validation enough that I still have a purpose. Perspective is everything, collective. Let me give you a couple of animal spirits that'll be helpful for you this coming week. What are the most important animal spirits for the collective? One more. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. Being authentic. First one out. Protected. Love it. Infinite possibilities as the unicorn energy. A higher calling. Beautiful. Love. Collective. Wow. And your greatness. Wow. Thank you, Spirit. Love is your strength. It's almost a self-confirmation. Leadership is your path. Your wisdom inspires everyone you meet. You can overcome any problem. You will naturally and easily achieve success. This is the energy that you need to be in, that you need to believe that you deserve to be in, and not be in this energy to take advantage and abuse it. No, to uplift, because this is a higher calling for you, collective. To stand in your greatness, to understand that there are infinite possibilities available to you in matters of love. Wow. I felt that one. Wow. Thank you, Spirit. Beautiful. Okay. Let me get you guys your bonus 3-card spread like I promised. I'm excited about these new oracles because I feel like it just gives an additional perspective for you guys, additional knowledge as well, especially because we have new subscribers to the channel every day. And so I just feel like it's going to help keep the energy moving, help everyone to continue to heal, grow, evolve. You know, when you have wisdom, When you know better, you do better. Or you should anyway, right? Okay. So like I said, I'm going to do a past, present, and future outcome spread for you guys. Okay. And so the past energy for this spread is going to represent the events and decision that has shaped the current situation. The second card will be the present situation and your fears and desires. And then the third will signify the future and the outcome. Okay. All right. What are the most important oracles of shadow for the collective for this week? Okay. Past, the survivor. Present, the inner child. Oh my God, spirit. I can't make this up, you guys. The inner child. Wow. Outcome, the crone. Wow. And underneath the bottom of the deck, you guys, I can't make this up. The parent. Wow. So this is significant to somebody. Wow. Okay. The survivor. This is a past situation or decision that was made. So let's see. In the earliest version of Little Red Riding Hood, the little girl wanders off path on her way to take food to her grandmother and meets a sly old wolf. With supper on his mind, the wolf races to the grandmother's house, eats the old woman, dresses in her clothes, and gets into bed to await the little girl. On arrival, Red Riding Hood believes he is her grandmother, and the wolf gobbles her up too. In later versions, Red Riding Hood is rescued by a woodcutter who kills the wolf, then opens him up to release the little girl and her grandmother. So let's stick with this happier ending, shall we? A surprising number of fairy tales feature children who are abused or neglected by parents. Wow, collective. Or other adults, abandoned, handed over to monsters, even killed. There is no end to the misfortune heaped upon them by their so-called protectors. Fortunately, most fairy tales have happy endings, offering hope that violence, terror, and deception can be survived. Have you had a big bad wolf in your life, collective? Was there someone who deceived you, a real wolf in sheep's clothing? Were you mistreated or neglected as a child? How did you deal with that? Does it still affect you? And if so, it is time to lay that ghost to rest. And you can do this by saying and reminding yourself, I am resilient. Wow, collective. Wow. So there's a message here, and it's a deep message, and it is on track with what we've been talking about. There is a huge inner child wound that has affected so many of us in the collective. A big bad wolf that we've had to survive to get to the point of now adulthood. Someone who was supposed to care for us, take care of us. Some of us were abandoned by the parent and given over to someone who then abused. So this is your past, okay? The present, the inner child. Wow. Thank you, Spirit, for supporting the message and giving us confirmation. Okay, the inner child. Okay, there we go. How do you see your inner child? Is it playing happily and safely without a care, or is it a small and vulnerable and in need of protection? If it is the latter, you may have buried the pain you experienced in childhood in your past to protect yourself now. Understanding and loving your inner child is central to shadow work. Wounds inflicted in childhood can affect adult behavior and lead to unhealthy, unhappy, or abusive relationships or an inability to connect well with others. The five most common inner child wounds are rejection, abandonment, humiliation, betrayal, and injustice. As a child, we have little power to heal damage caused by these, but as an adult, we can face them. When your needs for love, recognition, praise, and other types of emotional support go unmet in childhood, the resulting trauma can affect your adult life. Ignoring the pain that exists in your shadow doesn't heal it. It will resurface. Look it square in the eye, and you are on the way to healing. And you say, my happiness is my own responsibility. Start thinking of a few key childhood experiences, some positive, some hurtful. Do you still carry the pain from the hurtful events or damaging parental or adult behavior? Recognizing and accepting those things that caused you pain in childhood and now lurk in your shadow can help you mend the damage. Wow. And this is what I'm here to help you guys do, to look at your inner child, to face your shadows head on, collective, so that you can truly begin to heal. Because unfortunately, you're not going to get the people who harmed you or who neglected you or who people who humiliated you as a child to accept it and to work on healing it with you. It is going to be your responsibility for most of you. Okay. Future and outcome. The crone. The crone is often portrayed as a bad tempered, unkempt old woman, the stereotypical image of a witch or a hag. However, and however, it is kinder and more accurate to think of the crone as the wise woman archetype and the third aspect of the triple goddess, with the maiden and the mother. Artemis embodies the maiden, Selene, the mother, and Hecate, the crone. Hecate is the ruler of the dark phases of the moon and queen of the night and shadows. She has not lost her power or her strength. Just as powerful, but unpleasantly so, some hags in fairy tales and myths sit on the chest of sleepers to invoke nightmares and render them unable to move or breathe. However, in Irish folklore, hags known as Kalecha are wise and supernaturally empowered old women. Dealing with aging is something we prefer not to consider until it happens, but it can be a time of wisdom, freedom, and personal strength. This is what I feel like you're supposed to get from your future and your outcome. From your healing of your inner child, from doing your shadow work, you are going to be much wiser as you get older. You'll have more freedom and personal strength. The latter stages of life, as represented by the crone or hag, are not necessarily a period of loss or bitterness. This is a time to impart gathered wisdom, experience, and knowledge to the next generation, to enjoy the rewards of a life well spent, and to reveal in freedom from responsibilities. You say, the future is what I make it. Dreaming of an old woman may indicate that you are seeking wisdom and experience from another, more mature person. So beautiful. It flows well with the energy of the message, especially with this parent card being at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Like I said, you guys, you have survived quite a bit. And some things that you survived, you probably don't even remember because you were a child. But it is our responsibility as an adult to heal what hurt, to recognize it, to face it, so that when you get to your future, you now have the knowledge that you can pass on to your kids. They can pass it on to their kids and break these generational curses of bondage, of fear, of pain, of resentment, of jealousy, envy. This is the path. You've already been here as a survivor. Here is where you are with the choice to decide to heal your inner child so that you have the crown of wisdom and knowledge as you age and get older. Create a new legacy, a new path for your bloodline. I'm so excited about these oracles. This was an amazing message. Thank you guys so much for joining me in Shadow Work Part 2 Collective. If it resonated for you, I would love to hear about it in the comments. Please hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you are not part of the Soul Tribe. If this is where I leave you, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully, I'll see you in Shadow Work Part 3. But until next time, Collective. Bye, guys.